Hello everyone, welcome you all in this session. Myself, Assistant Professor Rifal Gupta from LJ School of Law. Today we are going to discuss on the subject of law of torts, in which we are going to discuss on the topic of who cannot sue and who cannot be sued. It is a general principle that everyone has a right to sue and everyone has a liability to be sued. That means everyone can file a case in the court of law and everyone can and we can be liable in the court of law. But this rule has several exceptions, and this exception has been covered in this topic that defines that who cannot sue, that means who are not liable to sue, and second, who cannot be sued, that means against whom we cannot bring any matter in the court of law. The first person is convicts. Now, who are convicts? Convicts are the person who are convicted for certain offences or against whom certain legal proceedings are being proceeds or they are imprisonment. So, under the common law system, that is in England, that we said as a common law system. Under common law system, in the before 87, before the time before they passed their Criminal Justice Act, they were following Forfeiture Act, in which convicts did not have or they cannot sue anyone for their rights or their personal injuries. But after the Criminal Justice Act, convicts have right to file a case for their personal injuries in the court of law. The same principle has been followed in India. In the Indian law, convict has a right to file a case for his personal injuries. It has been held in the case of D.B. Patnaik, state of Andhra Pradesh, that convicts, because they are convicts, cannot be said they are denuded from any fundamental rights. Even though they are in imprisonment or if they are convicts for such offences, they can have a right to file a suit against their personal injuries or their properties. In the case of Srimati Kevalpati, state of Uttar Pradesh, uh, deceased husband was died because of the negligence by the police authorities, as two convicts fought and one died because of the negligence by the police authorities. So here court awarded her 1 lakh rupees compensation because it was because of the police authorities negligence she had to face this kind of loss. So he that person against their legal hurts even can file a case in the court of law and can ask for their legal rights. So convicts can now sue for his personal injuries, and his properties. Next person is alien enemy. Now, who is alien enemy? Alien enemy is a person who is enemy nationality or who resides in the enemy territory or who carries any business in enemy territory. So, such person sue, cannot able to sue for the law of tort. It was there in the prior and common law, but it says that because by the getting license from the crown, he can file a sue under the law of tort in England. The same principle has been applied in India also. In India, an enemy cannot sue in his own capacity, but under section 83, if he able to get the permission from central government, he can sue for the torts in India by getting the permission from central government. So, alien enemy, by getting some permission, he can file under the law of tort in India. Next persons are husband and wife. So, can they file case against each other or can they independently file case each other? Under the common law, it was not there before 18th century. It was believed that husband owned her wife, her body, her property. So, wife cannot independently file a case without the permission or without taking her husband along with her. But after that, they passed some certain acts for the Women Property Act, and then women can file independently apart from the husband for her property and for personal injuries. So that was in the common law system. In India, that has never been followed because in India we have different personal laws. For example, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, everyone governed by their personal laws. And apart from that, under the Indian Constitution, Article 14 defines, clarifies the right to equality. That means equality before law and equal protection of law. Further, Article 15 defines about there is not discrimination on the grounds of sex. So we are not believing that husband and wife or the husband wife cannot file the case. She can, because we are not discriminating on the grounds of sex. So this does not affect the rights of husband and wife. They independently can file the case in the court of law for their personal and property injuries. Even they can file tort matter to each other also. So in India, the husband and wife can file a case independently in the court, and they can file a case against each other also. Next person is corporation. Now corporation is a legal person in the eyes of law. So corporation has a legal identity apart from his own members. So a corporate can sue and can be sued on his own name. You can sue a company in his name. You can see a case against Reliance or Kingfisher. So they are independent from their members. So, but yes, they can be sued and can sued by the other person. But but for their offense, the members who are running the companies, they have to go behind the bars, or against them the offense can be we can raise the offense against that person. So in the case of Ahmedabad municipality versus Padma Bhai, it says that corporation can be sued for the malicious prosecution if all the elements are present, and the members can be prosecuted for the same. So a corporation and their members can be sued, and they can sue to the other in the name of the corporation. The next is unborn child. Now unborn child is a person who is under the womb of mother. So in the common law system, unborn child can brought in civil action against any person. So if any person, when he was under the womb of mother because of certain negligence, if he born deformed, he can bring a suit against him and can ask money for his life expectancy. But if that person, that child died in just within 48 hours, then only his funeral expenses can be given by that person. So under the common law in England, an unborn child even can bring a suit for the negligence of the third person. But in India, we don't have such kind of law, so no unborn child can sue in the court of law. Now, insolvent person, for him the same procedure we are following in the common law in India. So in India, insolvent person, that means who has declared to be bankrupt and his property is under the liquidator, he cannot file sue for his own property, but yes, he can file sue for his own personal injury like assault or slander. He can file a suit for his, if any person caused him injuries, and yes, even for his properties he can file a suit, but he has to file suit along with the official assignee, that is a liquidator with him. So again, in insolvent person, he can file a suit for his personal injuries and also property, but for the property he has to make a joint party with the legal assignee or legal person who is appointed by the High Court. Then he can file a suit for his property. Next person is foreign sovereigns. So no foreign sovereigns can file suit in India unless such state is recognized by India, and if such state with the prior permission of central government can only file a suit in India. Now we'll discuss who cannot be sued. Now against whom you cannot bring civil or any proceedings in the court of law. So first is act of state. Act of state means the person who is sovereign authority and doing any act under the sovereign powers. So under the common law as well as in India, a citizen cannot bring any suit for the act of state. So if state is doing something under his sovereign power, because they are authorized to do that, no citizen can file a case against them. For example, if anyone is the bridge project is going in front of your office on the road side, so you cannot file a case against state for their act. It is their sovereign power, comes under the sovereign powers. So any act done by the state under the sovereign powers You cannot challenge them, and no citizen can do that. So action of government did not amount as a, but again action of government did, but action of government will not come under the act of state. Act of state is the sense when government is doing something under the sovereign power, that you cannot challenge. But yes, of course, the act of government, if there is infringing their right, you can challenge against that in the court of law, but under sovereign powers you cannot challenge. The next is crown or state. So under the old fundamental principle in British, king can do no wrong. So in the British king, you cannot file a case against king. But this principle, however, never followed in India. In India, you can bring a case against the government and for the acts. So under the Article 300 of our Constitution of India, you can file a case against Government of India and the state governments in the name of Union of India and the against any state of India. So you can file a case against the government and for their conduct. So in the case of state of Rajasthan versus Vidyavati, in this case, one driver who is a CRPF under the his officer was driving, and because of his negligence he killed one pedestrian. So in this case, Supreme Court held that he had done something in his own work that he is employed for. So here government is liable for the act of his employees, so they have to pay compensation. In the case of N. Nagendra Rao, the state of Andhra Pradesh, the Supreme Court says that you cannot take an umbrella that state government cannot be held liable for the work of their employees or the public officers. The government is liable for the work of public officer, and if they are doing something negligent, the government can be or can you can file a case against the government. Government has to pay the compensation. So Supreme Court says that under Article 300, you can file a case of tort against the government and for their employees if they are being negligent in their conduct. So in India, you can file a case against government for the public officers for their conduct. So next is foreign sovereign. So you cannot file a case against foreign sovereigns, but you can do it with the permission from the government of India under the 86 of CPC. But there are 4 conditions to do that. First, that particular person has instituted your case against you. Second, if that person is trading in local market in India. Third, if that person, his inward property which is situated in India is under the conflict with the other person. In the last day, he expressly waive his privilege given by the government that I don't want to be foreign sovereigns and anyone can file a case against me. So you can file a case against foreign sovereigns until you cannot. So there are 4 conditions to this, that you can file a case against foreign sovereigns. Next is ambassadors. The same like foreign sovereigns, you can file a case against foreign ambassadors by the prior permission from central government under the section of 86 of CPC. Next is public officials. So public officials are getting power from the state. So if they are doing something under that power, they cannot be sued. But yes, under that power, their superior can be sued for their conduct. So if they are doing something in the course of their employment, their superior authority can be held liable for their conduct. But apart from that, for their personal work, yes, they personally can be held liable. But under their public work, their superior authority and or their subordinate authorities can their superior authorities can be held liable for their conduct of the subordinate authorities. So here the superior officials can be held liable for the conduct of their employees and the public officials. Next is minor. So under minor, under the law of torts, minor cannot take any defense of his age. Even the 7-year-old minor can be prosecuted for the trespassing offences. But yes, his mental condition can be seen or can be considered in the law of torts, and he can be sued only by his next friend. So thus a minor can be held liable in the law of torts, but that tortious liability can be measured through his mental condition or their mental aspects. And the last is trade unions. So in India we have Trade Union Act 1986, through which if we have registered trade union, the registered trade union can be sued and can sue any other in their own name. Even certain rights are also there with the unregistered trade union, but yes, they cannot sue in their own name. But if we are registered trade union, you can sue and you can be sued by the other in your trade union's name. So we have completed over one topic, who cannot sue, who cannot be sued. So we have seen certain persons who are liable to be sued or who cannot be sued or who cannot sue in the court of law. So this is the exception to this general rule that every person has a right to sue and be sued by the other person. So we have seen the exception over here. Thank you.